What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
It's Frelinard, subprime hero.
And we are excited to be brewing solutions with you today. And I am so excited for who it is that we are going to have on the show. Car guys and car gals, welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast.
Wow, and this show really has been amazing. These last 4 years, Lou, we've had some really great guests. We've had some people that were, veterans, been doing it for multiple years, people who just started doing this, people who are thinking about doing this even. We had people that weren't even in this industry. We've had family members of people inside this industry, and this person almost fits a lot of those marks right there, But one thing that she definitely fills is that rock star status, right? Just out there doing big things. She's a young gun out there doing some amazing stuff, speaking at NADA. I mean, how hard that is to do, especially at her age. I believe she's probably the youngest to ever do it, or one of the youngest. I mean, it's amazing to see what she's doing. She is a legacy person, but she carries that beyond. I think that she's going to exceed everyone's expectations, but we get to have her on the show today and hit her with a 5-liner. And this 5-liner is going to be dope today. I'm excited. Make sure you all share this out. First thing we need to do is
tag a car guy,
tag a car gal,
and share.
Get this out there. Make sure you all let people know that we have some rock star status going on. A lady in the industry just leading the way. I love it. I mean, just really leading the way, showing people how to do it with class, with enthusiasm, and don't let any reason that people can say, oh, you won't make it, get in your way. Because I tell you, she doesn't let any wall stop her. Man, I'm excited to have her on the show. Let's go.
Oh, she's a powerhouse for sure. She's definitely somebody that we can point to say, this is what it looks like when somebody gets inspired by the auto industry operating with honor and with the aggression that it takes to make sure that you are getting the job done. She is an incredible example of what it is to be a legacy inside of this industry. And we're watching it play out in front of us, and we're just getting started. This brew is going to be piping hot. So make sure that you share it around, everybody. We want to welcome in the one,
the only Tianna T. Got your keys, Mick,
to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Hey, there she is. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
You knew that it was going to be loud and orange, everybody, the second we started speaking about this show. What's happening, T? How are you today?
I am pumped up, fired up, super excited. I am here, like you said, in my big orange building, in my big orange office, wearing my small orange shirt. And I'm super excited to talk to you guys. And I'm excited to just be on the show. So thanks so much.
Oh my goodness. It's awesome that we're finally here. This is excellent for everybody. Folks, this is a woman in automotive that is shaking things up and making big things happen. And she's a tiny little person that's this powerhouse of strength. I mean, dynamite.
Like it, they say that dynamite comes in small packages, and there's no doubt, but when you see her, before you meet her, you're thinking just a big, this person's going to just command, and she does. The way she gets on a stage and speaks with such confidence about the process, about how to really service your clients, right? And how to look at the data too. I mean, it's amazing what you know at your age, but that's because you've been doing it a lot longer than most people would think, right? So we'll talk about some of that today. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more about you. Welcome to the show. But the first thing that we do before we do anything is we always drop F-bombs.
That's right.
We do. We like to drop F-bombs, but they don't offend the moms, right? And that's important. Lou, tell her a little bit about that.
So we make sure to wipe off the weight of unforgiveness, to focus on where it is that we want to go, who we can help, and what we can do. And we stretch out and we fly so that we can keep growing all the time. So those moves are pretty consistent and known all throughout the industry. And for the first time on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, we are making history by having T do the 3 F-bomb drop with us, and we are excited about it. So help us out as we get this music going. On 3, we're going to forgive, focus, and fly. Put the hands on the shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Forgive.
Focus. Fly. And keep growing.
There we go. We go. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Welcome to the family.
Cheers.
Welcome to the family.
Cheers. And then Lou.
And cheers to you.
That's right.
Finally
Let's
got
do
her
this.
in the cafe.
We got her.
Let's do this.
We finally had the nerve to ask. I know that that's an amazing thing. I know how busy you are, and I'm glad that we had an opportunity to have the conversation. Every time I see you at an event, I feel like we connect more and more and more, and I get to see you more and more. And there's something about that, the way the world works, that energy where we connect with like-minded people. So excited to ask you these questions. We're going to start with the first one, and this very first one is a very important question. It's the why. What drives you? What gets you up every single day to excel in a business that really, if you didn't want to, you could just coast through, right? But instead, you decide to excel through and work hard through. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the why is probably our number one thing, and that's what we teach here, especially at Dealer Synergy and just Franklin Covey and all that good stuff is, your why message, right? And your value. And I think why I just do everything that I do is because it really inspires me to show other people and to grow other people. Basically, like kind of like a teacher, how I get so much joy out of just getting that aha moment. If I show somebody, hey, do this on a video, do a walk around like this, and then they send it to the customer and then they call me back and they're like, hey, that worked. They came in, they bought the car. That is my why. I just like those little small victories, those little wins. That is my whole why.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that would be you. I know I can sense that inside you. You definitely are very attentive to people. You pay attention. Your empathy is second to none. So that's where I think you have a unique perspective. And not to mention, you come from a slightly different generation. Some car people out there that are out there doing similar things that you're doing. So your perspective is unique, and it is our current clientele or the future. Like the majority of people that are going to be buying cars over the next 10 years are going to be people from the generation that thinks the way you do and sees the way you do. And I love that. And that's great. So you're such a fresh breath of fresh air for everyone, right? When you come in and speak and hear how you're thinking, because I think a lot of people are taking heed to it because of that heart that you have in your why. And that's why you're excelling at what you're doing. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
I mean, that's, again, not a surprise at all.
Not even a little bit.
And it's, but it's exciting to consider the particular type of pedigree that you are of a person,
Right.
and a car gal in this incredible industry. I mean, we generally at this point we would say, how did you get involved in the car business? And say, oh, okay, well, we know. But I guess the way that we would want to spin it, because you have, again, a great line of professional that's inside of your family that we honor, the industry honors. Shout out to Sean. You know what I mean? Sean Bradley is incredible at making the connections. He's from street to corporate entities. He's made sure to make an impact inside of the entire industry, from his wisdom as a professional himself in automotive. The thing is, we have seen for so many years the next generation not be inspired by the one that they're looking at. In that, you get the chance, T, you're going to be incredible at whatever you do.
That's right.
Whatever you stretch out in.
Whether you're an automotive or not,
you're going to be a powerhouse in it.
Right.
So wherever it is, you're going to make an impact, because that's who you are. You're dynamite. It's going to explode wherever it goes. Right.
Totally agree.
With that, though, you saw something and you were inspired by the car business itself, watching your dad and then having exposure to the industry. What is it that most inspired you about automotive that made you want to create your entire brand, create your entire persona, and go after your dreams within automotive when the world is your oyster, kid? Your dad paid the price for that too. You know what I mean? To give you the world. You do your thing, as we try to do for our kids. What inspired you most about automotive that made you come to it?
I think what inspired me the most was I saw the perception of being a car salesman, right? And I saw just so many similarities when it comes to, unfortunately being a woman, right? Or unfortunately being a member of the LGBT community. And I thought, I really just want to change the perception of car sales, of automotive, because I think, because like you said, I've seen the other side of it, right? I haven't seen, people be treated bad. I've seen the good in the dealership. I've seen how much potential a healthy culture in a dealership can be. So when I first got into my first dealership and I was working, I was like, my first dealership was completely opposite of what I wanted to be, and it was so much a toxic culture there. I was the only sales girl there within the last 10 years. So I could tell you something about, women working there. But so I saw that and I was like, you know what, we can change this. And I think even it takes one, right? Even me as a salesperson, if I can change the car buying experience for one person or for one family, like that's what I want to do. So I really kind of saw, like I said, the different communities, right? I'm a gay woman, I'm a gay Latina woman, and in car sales, that's like super out there. So with seeing kind of like the bad perception of being a woman sometimes, right? Men, you get your bad rap too, but also the bad perception of of being in the LGBT community. And I was like, hey, I don't think people understand, so that's why they're afraid of us, right? Or I don't think they really understand car sales, so that's why they don't purchase from us, or they're scared of us. So I really wanted to flip that perspective. And if I could, I'm not going to change the whole LGBT world or the women's issues, but if I can change one dealership or one person's life in just buying a car and having a good experience, that is what is most important to me. And that's what motivated me to build my brand, because I wanted more people to come to me. I wanted people in my community to come to me. I wanted people not in my community to come to me. So that's what really kind of inspired me the most, is that I just really wanted to make, my workplace that positive culture, and within that I wanted to excel that into the rest of the world. And that's what I did, like you guys said, at NADA, Digital Dealer, all these places. Like my number one goal is to just, I want dealers to be like, wow, I want to be the difference.
Oh, that's huge. And
Yeah, I love that.
anybody hearing that or seeing this or experiencing this should be encouraged. Anywhere you see T, hand her a microphone. Give her an opportunity to speak some wisdom into your situation right now, because she looks at it from a vantage point of the demographic that we have to be considerate about everything that they say, everything that they say and want to experience. We have to be aware of it. And your connection point at this time, taking years of wisdom, funneling it into a person that is leading an entirely new generation of
absolutely.
buyers, of employees, of new ideas. You're in the forefront of that. You're like the tip of the spear. And
I love
what's exciting about it is that we get to sit here seeing you keep building that out, be bold enough to do it, because there are a lot of people that are making moves and shaking things up that we don't get to see on screen, that don't get the chances that you get, that we would love to put a microphone in front of too, that are moving around. The difference is that you took advantage of some of the tools that were available to you to use.
Yeah,
You
no,
were encouraged.
exactly. I mean, there's so many people, I mean, even, selling more cars on TikTok than me, that just like you said, just 10 times more successful than me. But, I'm just making videos and I'm out there showing people how to do it. And I think that's kind of one of the things that is hard sometimes with people in their professions too, is just like, that fear of getting over the video. And like you said, like my generation, we see everybody as like an influencer. So it's almost a little easier for us to kind of pick it up and be like, yeah, I can be that car guy. I can be that, that pillow guy, like he was,
Right.
he's the
Exactly.
pillow, it's, and
Whatever you want to be.
exactly whatever you want to be. And so I think my, generation that's coming into this industry is really going to bring that up. But, dealers, if you're listening and you're in power right now, definitely encourage your team to just go out there and start doing videos, start branding yourself. And, you never know unless you just try. And I saw a quote and it was like, just hit record, girl. Who knows what happened? And it's like, it's so
Boom.
true. You know what I mean? Just hit record. Who knows what's going to happen? Like, I'm sure the major YouTubers, they never would have thought they would be millionaires off YouTube. And here they are. They hit record and, here they are.
Huh. Brian Ortega asks a really good question, because, we all know how shy he is.
Yeah.
He goes, what if you're shy like me? Brian, that's what I love about video. And I'm going to just key on that, is that the point behind video is that you don't have to have the audience in front of you. You can record it by yourself. And then when you do that, it takes a lot of that pressure away. The only pressure you have is like pressing send whenever you're actually posting it. Right. But that's where, like you said, just press record, girl. Press record, boy. Just do it. Because if you do it, you'll be surprised how far it goes. Every day comes another day. The consistency is the key. The consistency gets you better, makes you feel more comfortable. And if you keep looking at the likes, you're going to be a little disappointed sometimes on some days. It's about just being consistent. People are going to see the message, and the day that they need your help, they'll reach out to you because you're so consistent. And they say, hey, this person obviously an expert and loves what they do. So that's the key when you're shy.
Especially when it comes to being shy too, is one of the things that Sean Bradley instilled in me, especially coming and building my brand, is like Beyonce is her brand, right? She has a persona. Like she's Sasha Fierce, and then she's Beyonce. So you're T Got Your Keys. When you're on stage, you are Beyonce, right? You need, even if you're shy, Brian, right? You need to be like, you know what? I'm Brian the Brave now, and I'm that guy. I don't even know him. You know, when I'm on camera, I'm Brian the Brave, and I don't even know who that guy is. And that helped me a ton because I'm like, you know what? I'm not Tianna right now. I'm T Got Your Keys.
That's right.
Once you put yourself out of it, it's like it does a ton because, like you said, you don't get nervous anymore. All you have to do is just hit record, and the only nervous thing is sending it out. But definitely build your own persona, right? And almost slip into that actress mode and be like, you know what, this is me now. I'm not the shy person. This is going to be me, and see how that works. Because trust me, I was not good on camera at all. It took me, I always say this, to do a 30-second video. I was out on the lot for 2.5 hours, and it was like 178 takes.
Yeah.
Of a 30-second video. So definitely practice, and you'll get there.
Amen to that. I love that's such sound advice, my friends, from a professional, right? So,
and we got some questions from other professionals out here. You did get that for free. Put that in your cup and sip on it, everybody.
That's right.
Jordan Cox asks, what if I'm not as beautiful as Brian Ortega? And there are people that let's legitimately be real about it. Some people that are not confident inside of their presentation, that are effective in communicating with a customer, incredibly, right? Confident when they do so, but putting them in front of a camera where they're going to nitpick themselves, that is a point that holds people back. I completely understand it. You know what I mean? It's inside of that. I guess we're going to ask for a little bit of an extra shot. What would you say to people that are all worried about being so beautiful? Not everybody can be as pretty as pretty Tony Lucas out there. We appreciate you,
but that's a persona to be, you know. And I think that kind of lays into this, and I think she's going to throw that up there. Is that the persona helps you get over that a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's the persona, and also I like to say, if it makes you feel any better, it's like, you know, how many people are on covers of magazines versus just normal walking around people, right? Is your clientele those supermodel looking people? You know, obviously you want them, but what does the majority of people look like? You know, like me, we're below average, or we're kind of, you know, in between. But, you know, you have to look at yourself as, hey, I am my audience. I look like my audience, right? I don't want to look like, you know, some prime suit wearing guy, and then, you know, all my clientels are just going to think I'm some up snooty. No, you know, you want to look like a Joe Schmo normal person, right? I don't want to say ugly, right? But even, you know, the majority of your, you know, your community out there, they're not supermodels. So don't worry, you look like your audience.
I love this. You're giving such great mentor member, like just great advice to people, to these. I'm telling you, and I love it. And what you're saying is 100%, you know. And I love that Ashley put something in here. And it says, it sounds like the key to being authentic and vulnerable is your brand. Yes, it really is, folks. If you could just be you, you don't have to lie. Just let people do that. I always tell people, if you like Pokemon, there's a million people who love Pokemon and they'll buy a car from you. So don't be embarrassed of that stuff. Share that stuff. Because the more authentic you are, the more real you are, the more likely people are going to reach out to you. It's facts. And that's the only way to be. And I love that. So yes, Ashley, that is the way to brand. And that's why Tianna is crushing life, because she is being authentic and true to herself. And that comes so confidence. When you can just be you, the confidence will come out. It's when we try to emulate others, sometimes we get a little insecure because we can't compare ourselves. Like, you know, well, you don't need to. Your biggest competition is yourself, and it's your mind telling you to, oh, you're not good enough. So you are, every one of you all watching this show, I want each one of y'all to understand that each one of y'all are loved beyond measure, and you can just go out and be whatever you want to be. And we have a beautiful tool called social media. If you go out, it costs you nothing 99% of the time to just do it, just some time. And really, if you could just let yourself get over it a little bit, you'll be surprised at the response you get. And you actually may find a huge new network of people that will support you and uplift you and help you completely change the way you think about that. So push yourself, my friends. And Tianna is a big example of that. And each one of you all commenting right now, I know at one point we're like, I don't want to put a video out. And then you did it. And then you're like, wow, here we go. So
Lucas says,
I
be
love it.
yourself. Everyone else is already taken. I mean,
I love
it's
that.
completely a fact.
That's right.
And that's the easiest person to be.
Bingo.
And that's why we love what it is that you're pouring out. If you
Amen.
need to go back and write that down, everybody, make sure that you're clear on all of the tips that are in there, especially being that persona. There is a third question
There
on
is,
the
and
five liner.
it goes really well because you've been giving such great advice that basically this third question just feeds into, because obviously you are a mentor yourself, but you have been a mentoree, right? You've been the one that's been getting the advice, and you still are. I'm sure you look for advice everywhere you go. I'm the same way. Who have been some of your greatest mentors along your voyage in life so far?
Oh man. Well, I would probably, get something for something if I didn't mention my dad, right? Sean Bradley. I feel like I'm giving like a ceremony speech. I'd like to thank my dad. Let me just put that before I forget. Yeah, no. Here's the list. Yeah. I would say my number one probably top mentors is, I mean, I want to say like obviously, my dad, Sean Bradley, L.A. Williams, who's our vice president,
Love
and
LA.
just all, business aside, just as a genuine human being. I mean, he's completely blind and he walks through life literally with no assistance. Like, he can only see the world like this. So to remember everything, to be a genuine, kind person all the time, and being like this, I mean, he's an amazing person. And then my two other people I would say is Franklin Covey, which, obviously he has passed away. But Franklin Covey, especially the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, has literally changed my life. I think of, all of the habits when I go throughout my whole day. I always put first things first. I always seek first to understand before
And to be
being
understood.
understood.
That's right.
Exactly. And then my last person I would say is, I don't know, want to say specifically her, but Rhonda Brines, who she wrote the book The Secret. And
Wow.
other people also write, manifestation, law of attraction books, but that book, The Secret alone, just being able to put out your own magnetic field to,
Amen.
get what you
Right.
want it's life changing. It's powerful. And like you said, wherever I go, I'm thankful for those, 7 habits and the secret law of manifestation practices, because that goes anywhere, right? Positivity, making sure you have your goals in check and you're staying on top of them. That's any career you take. So I would highly encourage everyone, if you haven't read The Secret, just read it. It is amazing. There's also a movie. So I read the book and I watched the movie as well. But I would say those are like all of my top mentors for like business wise. Obviously, I'd like to mention so many people in the automotive industry, even like Grant Cardone. I mean, he's awesome too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a lot of us would say that.
Uncle
Yeah.
Uncle G.
Uncle G. Yeah.
Yep.
Uncle G, yes. So many people. I mean, I can pull up my LinkedIn connection list and just start on the top.
No, I think you laid out a really good list of people. For one, I love that you honor your father, right? That's a big deal, and there's reasons for it. It's not just like, just because of his name. It's
Right.
because he definitely cares about you. Every time I talk to him about you, he lights up. He's like, "That's the plan." Because I keep telling him she's about to take over. He goes, "Oh, I know, and that's the plan."
And the thing
right?
that's awesome about it is that he's front and center with the camera on his baby girl,
Always.
doing her
Proud.
thing.
I mean,
You know
come
what
on,
That's
man.
making it happen.
That's to me like
That's
that
the
would
biggest
be,
joy.
that's dope as heck, right? And I think that's amazing that he does that. So yeah, many blessings on that. But I love how you brought in some really great authors and inspirational people that have inspired the masses. And the way that you talk about being able to manifest things in life. We are creators, and that's our soul. Like, we all are creators, and as long as we understand that, we can create things if we actually believe and keep our eyes on the prize. Nothing can stop us, right? Nothing can stop us. I'm all the way up, right? So, and it's truth though. And we all feel that in moments in our lives. And some of us feel it all the time because we're always on that grind, right? We always know what's up, right? And that's one of the best feelings in the world, is when you're there and you always feel lifted. That is the closest thing to heaven I could ever imagine, is just constant growth. and you're blessed. You've had some great mentors and you're sharing some great things. And I'm looking forward to seeing what 5 years looks like from today. And then hearing about not just more mentors, but also all the people that you've been able to help along the way with your whys and all those things that you're doing, right? It's phenomenal, man. It is really is. It's really great stuff.
She definitely is a phenom, everybody. And there's a lot of phenomenal things that are going on inside of the industry that we want to make sure that you keep aware of. If you're watching this on the podcast or you're enjoying this live, we want to make sure that you know what's happening at DC20 Unlocked. We are going to take a quick break and get ready to brew some more solutions. There are 2 more questions left on the 5-liner. But for right now, take a moment and enjoy what it's like inside of an interbrew at a DC20 experience. We'll see you in a moment. Enjoying inside of your role and what it is that you're doing. Tell us a little bit more, because we're here in the headquarters of Drive Centric, and this is like beyond what you would have imagined inside of a technology company that does the things that it does. But then when you're here and then you see it and you're like, you know what? It does make sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Right?
So what is it that that you have been starting to see from your vantage point, right? From the internet sales management role, how has Drive Centric been something that's been a helpmate inside of a tool for the dealership to activate better engagement with the customers?
Sure. So I've worked with a couple different CRMs, couple different client management tools. Awesome. And this one has by far been the best. And I have to probably chalk it up to the way that Drive Centric treats their employees. I'm looking around, I'm seeing a couple pinball machines, I'm seeing some bags upstairs, I'm seeing a pool table. But whenever I reach out to Drive Centric being like, hey guys, I got an issue, I can't merge a deal, I got to unwind a deal, can you guys help me? Other CRMs that I've used in the past, I usually get a bot, I get an email response, we'll get back to you XYZ time. Drive Centric is on it, like immediately. There's one guy that I work with pretty regularly. His name is David. Shout out, David.
What up, David?
What up, David? And even if he's on lunch, I'll be like, hey, is David around? They're like, no, he's on lunch. He leaves. So like, just let me know when David gets back. Right. And he's like the gift king. He's just awesome. And I really think it has to do with the way Drive Centric treats their employees. It's really awesome.
Wow. You know,
that is our friends over at Drive Centric. Make sure that you do find out what it takes to be at the next DC20 Unlocked. Whew. All right, folks.
Just to say that they're awesome. You know, all of their AI stuff that they're doing is super cool.
It's beyond. And then if you guys go look at their infrastructure of how to use their tool, it looks like social media. So when you're on there, it makes your salespeople who are younger feel comfortable. It's a tool that looks familiar. It actually looks fun. And if they think about it, it is their social media that they have for those 8 hours plus at work, that they're there. They can actually be on there and they can be communicating, looking at each other's videos, like their stories, and they can like them and share them and be like, hey, did you see this one? It's so unique, but it'll inspire, it'll push people. It'll make say, hey, I only got one video out. I better catch up. Right. So, and then as a leader, man, the tools, we don't want to get deep in that. So the show's not about that, though they are amazing. But yeah,
pretty cool.
They are pretty cool. Great sponsors of the show and friends of ours too, right? We're real proud to say that we work with them. But you know, we always align ourselves with people we believe are trying to do what's right for our industry, you know, and that's why we have you on the show today, because we know you're out here trying to do what's right for the industry, but even deeper for the people in the industry. And I see that, and we sense that, and we definitely want to keep pushing that out there to people and let people know how great you are, T. And we thank you so much. You know, and we do have 2 more questions left, and these questions, they're dope. They're dope.
They're so dope. We're on the Car Guy Coffee
podcast.
A cool
word anymore, but we still say it.
I don't know. We're like, we got the access to so many generational slangs. I think that we're allowed to rock.
That's right.
For anybody watching this show, make sure that you do drop some of the slangs that you just need some interpretation on. I know that T is hip to the script. Okay, she can really give you the lowdown on what's hip and cool out there. But folks, there is something that we want to make sure that we are clear about that is generational and is beyond the slang, because every now and then, no matter what generation we're in, we can want to drop an F-bomb and it not be forgive, focus, fly, right? Yeah. And inside of that, we are created to have these emotions that we have, to have these trials that we have. The way that the design that was put in front of us was to be refined consistently each and every day, to be perfected each and every day. Inside of that, we deal with a lot of rough marks, a lot of hits on the chin, a lot of slugs in the gut, a lot of those things that trip us up. With that, what would you say has been the hardest lesson that you've had to learn uh, coming through up till now inside of your career? If you had to say one of the hardest lessons, like this one, ugh, that one scraped, that one hurt, but whoa, what a shine came to me from there. What a growth spurt came after I got past this lesson. What was that for? T's got your keys.
I would say it sounds like negative, but it's not negative in any way. But I would say, I forget who said something to me, but we were in a meeting and I was like, I want them to understand. I know this is going to help them. I just know this is going to make their life better. And they were like, listen, T, you can't sell to everyone and you
Mhm.
can connect to everyone and you don't want to.
Hey, that's so true.
And I
That's
was
such
like,
great advice.
wow. I was like, that's so true. Because if I think about how would I connect with them? Okay, maybe I was too nice. I was too positive. I was too this. I was too that. But it's so true. You don't want to connect with everybody. You just want to connect with ones that are authentically you. So when I heard that, I was like, wow. And that goes into sales, right? Like you want to sell a car so bad and that next dealer is going to rob you. I swear I am the best person, please. And they're like, no, I'm going there. I'm not going to listen to you. And you're like, fine. And you just feel like that guilt. And you're just like, I just had to learn how to let it go
Yeah.
and be like, you know what? The next person that is ready for me is going to come along. And I don't need everybody. I just need the ones that want me.
Come on,
I
that's
love that.
powerful.
There is, because
What a lesson.
there's a lot, and that tells you that this business, you got to understand, this is a rejection business. We are like 75%. If you're average, you're going to be rejected, and you should be okay with that. It's okay. I just want to help the people that want to be helped. No different than when, as trainers or as consultants, if we are talking to deaf's ear, they're not going to learn it anyway. So they're just wasting their investment. And I don't even want to do that. I'd rather just not be part of
Right.
that. And I make that very clear every time I talk to someone. It's like, hey, look, it's cool. I know you want training. It sounds great, but are you really ready for training? Because I will hold you accountable. Right. So that's the same thing here, is we're trying to help people, and not everyone hears our message. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I feel the same way, because I always feel, and I try to tell anyone I train or work with, or we try to train and consult and work with, that, hey, listen, you just need to make relationships with people. And if they don't hear you, it's okay. It really isn't. Just give them the best experience possible. And then eventually they'll know, they'll find out later that you were the right place. Like you said, I feel so much like I am the best option for them. You feel like you're the best option for them. Lou feels like he's the best option for anyone. I want to help you more than anyone wants to help you. Right. So it hurts every time someone goes somewhere else, because you will grind harder than anyone else. You will do. And what happens after the sale? Right. That's even the more crucial part of it all, is making sure the after sale rocks. So, whoa, did we
Oh,
get
we
frozen?
caught the frozen with the bubbles in the air. Uh, we do agree
I do agree
with,
with that 100%.
yeah, it's genius to but not genius. These are the simple things that help be revelation bringing, uh door opening conversations for so many different people. If we just one have the conversation, I think for many years there's been a lot of people that haven't even asked the questions, right? We didn't even want to know if there was a better way to do it. We just did it the way that we did. What we love about your generation is you keep asking the why, and that's what we are trying to make sure we keep connecting to the rest of the generation is, or to the generations ahead, is ask the why and have an answer for the why. Don't just say we do it because we do it, right? There's got to be a reason that we do
And
it,
I
and
think
challenge it.
understanding the why is the most important part, especially, when you sell cars, even at the dealership, right? Why do I want to have this customer for life at this dealership, right? You want to be proud of the environment that you're, putting them in, your customers in, and even from a sales manager perspective or a GM perspective, right? Just it's so much easier to walk into work when everybody is on the same goal, has the same mission, same vision, and all working towards getting sales, but obviously done in a better experience way. And it's tremendous when people just work together and come together and just continue the message. So I think it's super important for everybody listening that you guys really understand your why message, right? Like, why should I be selling this car? Why should, this dealership be, up on the Google reviews for 5 stars? You guys need to make sure that all of your, salespeople, everybody really understands, why. I think we're waiting for Lou and Fred to jump back on to finish the last 2 questions, but super excited that I even had this opportunity for being able to talk to you guys. I think if you really kind of took anything away from me talking and being interviewed, I think it's just to be authentically you, and the rest will follow, right? I love what I'm not sure if it was Lou or Fred, but they said, being you is the easiest, and it might sound cliche and hard, but it's the truth. And if you are just authentically you and you go on camera and, like what Brian said, what if I'm shy, filling that persona role, right? Building that, creating that person so that way, oh, Brian the Brave isn't shy. Making sure that you guys are really living in that authentic self. So if anybody can take anything away from this, I would definitely appreciate that side of things. And then that perfectly tees up our host here. I was entertaining the audience with some more wisdom of just being authentically you.
And for some reason, that's very challenging,
Yes.
right? Hopefully, we're coming back in the right way. But for some reason, it is very challenging for somebody to be their authentic self inside of a system that is designed to replicate just one either customer or way of serving that customer.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I think when you're authentically you, it transcribes so much. The customer sees it, your manager even sees it. I'm sure when you really connect with a customer and they are just, really kind of just, you're joking, you're going back and forth, and you kind of see like, hey, this deal actually went really easy. And then when you sit back and you thought about it, you're like, was I selling, or was I just like talking to this person and just kind of having a conversation about getting a car? And I feel like that's a majority of all of my, big major deals, that my easy deals, is I didn't remember that I was selling a car, right? I just thought, hey, I'm having a conversation with somebody and they need a car and I'm here to help them. And that was just the easiest sale that you can have.
If
And
you
I
if
was
you
gonna
keep
say,
everything
I think
simple,
it's
right?
hard
The
to
more
also.
simple that you keep everything for yourself, for a customer, and for the technology that you're using, because that's all that the technology is here to do, is to make this big giant task this small, right? This quick. And uh, recognizing that, one, the tools that we use, especially this phone, which just about everybody has, making them recognize and comprehend that that's an investment. If you look at it properly into your business, there's so much that this investment can make sense in using and becoming, right? If you look at it as an investment, listen, you got this magical device that can do so much for you and your business. Put it to work, because otherwise it could be something that takes you from work. It distracts you from what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And it's going to do one or the other, right? It's going to either distract you from doing what you got to do, or it's going to assist you in doing what you got to do. And it's the same thing with just about every technology that we represent or get to point out, or utilize. That's awesome stuff. Understanding all that, even as we struggle with technology at the moment, everybody, for those of you that are not watching this live, that are enjoying the podcast and everything that you're hearing, make sure that you keep sharing it around. But we are fighting some fun camera issues, and it's happening right now as we do this episode. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that we can be genuinely us and have a conversation with the technology that we have, right? Inside of that, that's what we want to make sure we get across to people, is that at whatever level of tech you got, man, use it, go to work on it, and improve as you go, right? Because there is a measure of keep growing that takes you saying, well, before I ask for more, let me use what I have, you know what I mean, in front of me. You've seen so much out there. What are some of the tools that you would recommend? You know, just as another side note, we're going to give a little biscotti for those of you that want something to dip inside of your coffee here. So we're going to add to this 5-liner. But if you had to give people just a few tech tools to make sure that you use, whether it's editing or anything that simplifies building that brand, what would you recommend?
Ooh, I have a really, really good one, and this can do videos, help you edit graphics. You can take a picture of yourself, it removes you from the background, and you're completely like wherever background you want to see. But Canva. If you guys go to canva.com, Canva is amazing. You get free. There's a really free, but you can also have a paid version. But you can make ads, you can make flyers. That's actually where I made my first flyer. One of the things that I did when I was first selling cars is to print out flyers, make those little like ticket ones where you can actually rip off a ticket and like call my number, because you can't really do that anymore. I actually took a picture. I was at the grocery store last weekend, and the whole bulletin board, I remember when I was a kid, it used to be like filled with so much stuff. I'm like, did anyone even read that? Like, what the paper is there? Now I go there and it's like one paper, and I'm like, oh my god, imagine if I just put my business card and I just started pinning my business card all to these empty boards, or even my dealer synergy training to these empty boards. And so I use Canva for that, and it does video editing, any kind of things you want to do. That is where I would go.
So true. It's one of the first things that we encourage anybody that we're training to use is go to Canva, simplify your entire world.
It changed my life, like what you're just talking about. It made my simple edit or hard edits very easy, and it gave me ideas, because you can go in there, look at different templates, you can look at so many things, just change some color schemes, move some stuff around, and it looks really unique and very custom. It makes you look like a professional, my friends. And it's literally 90% of what you need is free. If you want to pay for the app, which I suggest, and it's a business write-off if you know how to do it, then it's so worth every penny, right? It really is. You can use it for your teams. You could use it for so many different things out there to really help enhance your visibility, right? And make it simple. And you could do multiple things. You use the same graphics, to make newsletters in it, make postcards in it. You could do so many things, make banners that you need to have. It really does. You could make it into podcasts. This background you all see right now, this is 5-liner flashing and all this was made on Canva. Right? So it's so that she's like, no, really? Right? Wow. So I know, right? So it's folks, it really is that simple. It's a great tip. It really is, T. Thank you for sharing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Canva, shout at us. We have sponsor packets for you.
Yeah, we do.
Well, because we do definitely get plenty of people to get you to download them. But that pro level, there's so many great things inside of Canva. But that's so true, because you can put that on any phone. You can work that from any computer, and that's not something that you need to spend actually any money on to do something effective right now.
Right. Exactly.
Free right now. You can do something with that. That's an incredible tip. All right, Fred. I mean, that was a delicious little biscotti dipped into the 4 first lines of the 5-liner with that little extra shot and all of the great value that's being poured out. But we got another line.
We do. We have one more line left for you, and for all you all out there watching the show. Thank you all for staying tuned, and everyone on LinkedIn. We always get a great audience on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. LinkedIn's my favorite platform for business. I really do. I appreciate you all out there in LinkedIn world. But that being said, my friends, this 5th question is a super important question. We've talked about the why. We talked about what inspired you to passed that torch of that legacy through automotive. You could have went to any industry, right? And we got to hear your personal reason why you stayed in this industry. We got to talk about mentorship along the way and how you use so many different people to inspire you to get to where you're at today and still are, right? We talked about some of the lessons that you've learned. And then you just gave a great lesson. And I love that. And I appreciate that. That is what a professional does, right? And I appreciate that so much.
Cheers.
We see that. But this last question is really important too. You know, I think that you're young and I'm still young, right? I'm still young.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things that have happened to us that have been great. So up to this point in your life, what has been one of your greatest reward? Actually, what has been your greatest reward up to this point?
Wow, that's a big one. I would like to say, my gosh, there's like so much I can pull from. I want to go back to the first point of what you said of, I am to this date, and unless anybody stands up and speaks up, because I've asked, I am to date, the youngest NADA speaker in history. I spoke when I was, I just turned 22, so I was just shy of 21. And I think I want to say that because a big thing for me is if I can see it, I can be it. And there really hasn't been any women or females kind of in power making huge waves. I want to say when I was, selling cars, and especially, before all this cool video stuff, TikTok's coming out. So I feel like I want to say that only because I do want to be a staple of, I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the last one. I want to have other, young men, right? I want to be the youngest, female. I also want, a 19-year-old guy to come in and take that place. I just want to continue to empower and inspire greatness. And I think, achieving that NADA convention speaker at that age is just super amazing because I find it amazing that I get to show other people, hey, because you're young, you can still do this. Hey, because you're a woman, you can still do this. Hey, because you're gay, you can still do this, even in this automotive industry. So that's what I would say.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow. Yeah.
That's, I mean,
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Wow.
Mic
We
drop,
have nothing
right?
else
But that is 100%, and I think that you're going to get a lot more fulfillment as your career goes, and you're going to be able to pass the torch on to so many others to be able to be inspired no matter what seat you're from, right? You can be anyone you want to be. You could be from anywhere and get in this industry if you just have the gumption to put the work in. If you just listen and see what the greats are doing, and you just try to do your best to do the best you. But what you see greats are doing is things like what T's doing. She's out there sharing her skills, telling people little ideas and tips that can help them. Somebody put a quote in here earlier talking about you can lead a horse to water. And that's the thing. I want to lead all the horses to water. It's up to them to drink, right? It really is up to them to drink the water. But we do everything we can to inspire them to drink water, show them what it looks like when you drink water, how great and refreshed we look when we get to drink that water. And you're doing that, in such a classy way. Again, we said that at the top of the hour, how amazing and how smooth you make things look, and the confidence that you have at such an early age, coming and standing on an NADA stage at age 22. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I would say that there probably isn't anyone else that's been younger than that, unless they were on their stage with their dad. You know what I mean? Like talking, like what I mean by that is like they were a kid and their dad was the dealer of the year or something like that. So it's
a Grant Cardone status when he
right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
But
she's amazing, in what she does. And I think that's the number one thing to take out of is that, utilize the resources you do have, right? Before you go on and just find others, maximize your phone, maximize the CRM, maximize your training. And then once you did that, you can go seek more.
Come on.
I absolutely love what you're saying. Everyone seeks for other things when they haven't even utilized what they have. That is literally some of the best advice you can have.
Yes.
We all have superpowers and we have superpowers around us, but a lot of times we don't see it because it's our silo that we're in. And we don't realize it until it's long gone. We go, oh my gosh, I had it really good. There was something there I should have took more in. Mm-hmm. And I love that. Some sound advice, T. Some sound advice. That's what I'm talking about.
The 5-liner. You know what the deal is, car guys and car gals. It takes a 5-liner to put a deal together no matter what. And we just got you a fresh, piping hot 5-liner from T's Got Your Keys. You got some incredible advice. And if you want to make sure that you're paying it forward, tag a car guy, tag a car gal that needed to hear this inspiration, that needs to hear that it's worth pushing and pushing some more towards your goals,
right.
and making the noise that you were made to create. Put a microphone in their hand. And I'm telling you, everybody in the industry watching this, however you get to see it, put a microphone in the hands of this incredible young lady who's making waves and is making the connections happen. Thank you so much for your time.
Man.
Cheers to you. Cheers, cheers. We appreciate you rocking the Big Sean Cup. That's what I'm talking about. Representing Daddy. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Makes her even more special. You know, it's not, she's definitely honors that too.
That's what I'm talking about. Honor. That's a solutionary.
And that's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
that's why you shine.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that was participating with us today. You guys are incredible. We love you, Automotive. And in that love, we have been on a quest to brew with the best. And today we did nothing less. And we brought you the incredible, the one, the only Tianna T. Got your keys, Mick. That's right, everybody. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Lenartz, subprime hero.
And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. It has been an incredible show. Share it around, everybody. We will see you soon. T, let's forgive, focus, fly, and head out of here on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.